Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ed. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Glad to have you out here.
Yeah.
Just a word to the audience. Golf has got a problem, and that so many golfers do not play as much as they would like to, and golf is not gaining the number of golfers. So we want to try to encourage everybody that has a mild interest to come out and start playing. Mike came over to my house a week ago, fixed a lock. He's a locksmith. Did a nice job on it. I told him a little bit about my golf site, applygolflessons.com. Told him I was trying to change the instruction worldwide, and this process really worked. And what I loved about Mike is he took immediate action. What did you do, Mike?
I immediately flipped open my cell phone, gave my dad a call, who's visiting me from New York. I said, Dad, you got to check out this website. Do some reading. You want to do better in golf? Go to this applygolflessons.com. It's a really awesome site.
And then I think you said, start reading right now.
Yeah, definitely.
We then, he called me, Mike called me the next day and said, could we start taking lessons? And he and his father came out and we did an assessment of their games. We had them hit shots each for half an hour. We measured every single shot as to what happened to it in terms of stopping point, in terms of ball flight, and noted some behaviors that we could improve upon. The whole purpose of that, Mike, was to find the biggest potential stroke reduction area, so you get the biggest bang for the dollar.
Right.
And what we found was that your chipping looked like the best place to start. We counted every single shot. You had 12 chip shots. The average distance from the pin was about 25 feet. So that meant that if we could get closer, not only would you prevent a 3-putt from those longer distances, but you got a chance to get down in 1 putt.
That's
so
what I like.
yeah, that's where we're going to start. And plus the fact that some of the movements you make in a chip shot are exactly the same as you make with a full shot. So that's where we'll begin today. Now, Mike.
3.
Okay. Mike, I was very pleased that I asked you to take a look at written solutions on the website and copy a piece called Empowerment, about 4 or 5 pages, and tells you the questions and statements that you can make to take more control of the lesson and get what you want from the instructor. But pleased to see you brought it, and during the lesson you'll probably be asking me some questions that will help you. Second thing that we want to talk about first, Mike, is that when you get a lesson, one of the things I found at the end of the lesson, the student could not recall 50 to 90% of what they just heard. It was universal. So one of the steps in behavioral golf instruction is to get the player to take notes immediately if I tell you something, so that you can refer to it.
Okay.
And then write it complete sentences, not just keywords, and then repeat it back to me, because maybe I didn't say it right, maybe you didn't hear it right, maybe you didn't write it correctly.
Okay.
And then we're going to stuff it in the golf bag so it's always with you. First thing we'll do is going to talk about a running chip shot. And by running chip shot, I mean it's going to run most of the way to the pin.
Okay.
It's not going to go up in the air and stop quickly. The advantage in a windy day like today is you can get it below the wind, which helps a little bit.
Right.
We found now in the chipping assessment that we were running quite a ways past. We'd hit it very low on the ground, not get in the air, and it would run over the green. So what we're going to do now is just make some swings with this running chip shot, and we're going to just not hit the ball to start with. We're just going to swing. And what I'd like to have you do is just take your position as if this were the ball, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have you move the ball back in your stance. Instead of having it up here, we want to have it back kind of off your right foot.
Okay.
All right? So now I want you to put the club down to the ground behind that ball, just as you normally do. All right? And if you notice that naturally gets the club head, the grip rather, ahead of the club head, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
There's the grip, here's the, so what that does is get a lower running shot. What do you have? What club do you have here?
9-iron.
9-iron. That's a pitching. That's a sand wedge.
Sand wedge.
Yeah. I think. Can we stop now? I'd like to.
3.
All right, Mike. What we want to do is to get the grip of the club ahead of the ball, and we do that easily by getting the ball back off the right foot. The second thing we do is we have our weight leaning forward. Now what that does is you see that that kind of decreases the loft of this club, doesn't it? This is a 7-iron.
Yes,
It
yes.
decreases it, which means that it'll run lower to the ground. Okay, and that's what we
Okay.
want. And so always have it off, this kind of a running chip shot, have it off your right foot and your weight on your left foot.
Okay.
Now the reason for that again is to keep it low. When you do that, your hands are ahead, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
I'm not going to fool too much with your grip, but if you want to practice this right now, this will help. And you see that little opening there
Yes.
in your left foot? Try to get this fleshy part to cover that point. That's it. See how naturally you did that? That's
Right.
beautiful. And then we put the thumb so that it's kind of a little bit on this left side,
Okay.
but not spread too far apart. So we just
Okay.
get that. So that if you don't see any space there, you got a very, very good grip.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do before we start hitting a ball is we want to hit the ball on a slightly downward swing.
Okay.
And then we want the club, and I'm going to take your hands off now. I want the club, I want to show you where the club movement goes. The club movement goes like this, and it stays low through the shot. See how that's
Okay.
falling? The club is falling pretty
Uh-huh.
much close on the ground. It's
Right.
not going to go up like this.
Okay. So I don't break my wrists.
Now, good. See, I told you where the club was,
Right.
and you immediately knew what you had to do that. Take that practice swing. That was a very good one that you did there, because you kept this position this way. It wasn't
Right.
breaking this way,
Right.
and that was very good move you instinctively made there. That's good. Just take very slow motion, just very short swing, and just go through. Keep now. Look at that. Wonderful. See how that is there?
Uh-huh.
Perfect. Now, if you extended that shaft up to the middle of your elbow,
Correct.
you're just about here. What we want with a chip shot is we want that shaft, the extension of the shaft, to go no further than this point. We want it not over here,
Ah,
or we
okay.
could even have it here if we want to,
Okay.
but not this way. This is the move that everybody makes,
Okay.
and it's amazing how you pick that up so very quickly. Let's take some practice shots and go slow motion and freeze at the finish
Okay.
and hold it, and we'll look at where that club shaft is. Now see, where's the club shaft? If we extend it up, would
Right
go
there.
right to here.
Yep.
Now make an adjustment and get it to go to here or here over here. That's it. That's what we want. See how you did that?
Okay.
Once I told you where the club should be,
Right.
you figured out where the body should be. This
Okay.
is a major difference in our golf instruction. We talk about the club. The club is the only thing that hits the ball.
Right.
Once I tell you where the club is, you can figure out where the body is.
Right.
Golf instruction does the opposite. It tells you 500 moves you should make in the body, and never tells you frequently where the club should be. Now that's good. Make another short backswing, no more further than, and just continue. That's it. Oh, look at that. Now, where if you extended that up, it would be about out
Right.
here, wouldn't it?
Yep.
At least 3 inches.
Yep.
Okay. Now this is known, Mike, as feedback. Getting self-correcting feedback on your own performance. When I'm not around, which I'm not going to be around 99.9% of the time, you can then self-correct and get back on track. So let's take
Great.
another practice swing. Very slow and short, low to the ground. Keep it low to the ground. That's it. That's it. Wonderful. Now look where that is there.
Yep.
Isn't that great? That's
Yes.
terrific.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is amazing how fast you picked that up. That's good. Very short swing. Brush. Now, that's excellent. Just do it very naturally now. That's it. That's good. That's fine. Okay, now I want you to do this when you make the chip shots. I want you to scuff the grass,
Okay.
not just brush it. So, because we want to try to hit the ball at the bottom of that, toward the bottom of the ball. We don't want to be hitting it up here.
Right.
If the club